And so I decided to go to Los Angeles. And I talked to Andrew Watt, who I'd worked with Ozzy Osbourne on Ordinary Man. And then I worked with him via Zoom for the Miley Cyrus Nothing Else Matters track.
We go to this dinner on Friday when he gets to town. And so at the end of the dinner, the check comes, and Elton goes, "I'll see you Monday. You got lyrics?" And I stopped, and I was just like, wait, what? I thought you said you were gonna bring lyrics. He's like, no. This is a collaborations album. He's like, I don't have any lyrics. I have nothing. Okay, I'll see you Monday. And left. The way I wanted to make music with Elton was this kind of fabled way you hear he writes a song. He literally takes a page of lyrics and he sees a movie in his head or scene, you know, and then he tapes them up to the piano. He starts reading the lyrics and playing the scene of the movie. It's one of the most amazing things you've ever seen in your life. And he does it in 20 minutes. I'm scrambling now. I'm like, I gotta get some lyrics. I called a couple people. I called Ali Tamposi, who I write with all the time. I called Billy Walsh, who's an amazing lyricist. The first one he picked was called Always Love You.
And I came home that night and I said to David, that's it, I can't write anymore. I think the song's awful. I'm really depressed.
And the next morning we got up for breakfast and I was sitting opposite him at the breakfast table. He just had this heaviness about him. And I said, what's wrong? He said, I don't think I can write songs anymore. And I said, what are you, crazy? I said, of course you can write songs. I love what you did yesterday. I thought they were great. No, I think they're terrible. I don't think they're any good.
And it's always the first songs you write, you think, I don't think they're good enough. Maybe 60% of the time, they end up being some of the best things you write. But you have to question yourself as a writer. And I've written so many songs, for Christ's sake.
So I get a text message from David. Hey, just to let you know, Elton's a little down today. He feels like he didn't write good enough. I'm just like, what? These songs are incredible. They're so musically complex and they have all the things that you would want out of an Elton John song. I heard that and I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna fix this. I'm thinking the hook's amazing. And then songs that start with hooks, genuinely, that's something that at least I learned from hip hop. Stop editing the song the way it is. Grab the chorus, put it at the top of the song, and there's this part from second 45 to 60 or whatever, it's a 15-second loop. I might just loop it over and over again, and I sit there for a second, put the hook, grab the thing, make a beat. He comes in down those back steps, and he comes and sits kind of where we are right now. He's like, I don't feel that great about the songs we did yesterday, honestly.
He said, I got a surprise for you.
I play him what we know now as Always Love You, with it starting with the chorus.
I will always love you, even when I say I don't.
I'm holding the volume knob, and I just fucking crank that shit the second the beat drops. And he's like, you know, fucking head blows back. All of a sudden, he's laughing and smiling and dancing and feeling it, and then it goes back to the chorus, and he's alive again. He's just this to that.
He made it into something completely different and put the smile back on my face.
And then we started talking and was like, okay, who do we put on this? What do we do? And literally, I swear to God, Elton said, how about Young Thug? We should get Young Thug, but I don't call him Thug, I call him Jeffrey.
He came to my apartment in Atlanta because he'd done a version of Rocket Man, and I really liked what he did. And he came over, and I met him, and I went, what do I call you? Thug, Young Thug, Mr. Thug? He said, no, just call me Jeffrey. But to watch him come in and just freestyle off the cuff was just like amazing.
Take me back, I can put you in control if you take me back. Good fella rolling a new Maybach.
Once we had the Thug verse on there, and we're like, okay, how do we complete the story? Who should go on the second verse? We decided that the best person for it would be Nicki Minaj.
It's so hard for me to understand. I guess the universe had different plans.
She wrote something just absolutely incredible and really showed a side of her voice that is not on some of her other records. She goes between rapping and singing, and it's amazing.
I wasn't expecting that from Young Thug. I wasn't expecting that from Nicki Minaj. It's a whole song full of people not expecting what they're hearing. It's a shock. I feel very glad and flattered that I've got Nicki Minaj and Young Thug on my track because, you know, I do like that kind of stuff. And it's just like, I want to be a part of that, but I don't know how to be a part of it. And they've included me, which I feel very grateful for.
It was like the clouds lifted instantaneously. The light came back on in his eyes. And that was a key turning point in the whole process because he suddenly realized there was no boundaries between what he and Andrew might be able to do from that moment on.
And then the other track, Simple Things, I didn't really get until Brandi put her voice on. And then it just is one of my favorite songs.
Elton has the idea to have Brandi sing on the song, Brandi Carlile, which I thought was amazing since it has this kind of Nashville thing.
He just said, hey, there's this song, and he goes, and maybe this is a classic Elton, you know. And as soon as I heard it, you're right. It was like I could finish the phrases. I knew what he was going to do before he did it.
She wrote me a letter 18 years ago asking me to play on her album, and the most beautiful letter saying how much I'd meant to her as an artist. And we've become friends ever since.
Simple truth, hard to see, not what you want, but what you need.
We spent all day with that track, constructing harmonies and then bouncing them back to Andrew, and Andrew FaceTiming us and going, oh, that's amazing, but don't do an ooh here, do an ah here, you know, and sing the lyric. And that kind of stuff is just celebration.
And for her to sing on the song that she did, it's like a dream come true. It's a bucket list moment. It's like, now we've actually done something together.
One of the sets of lyrics that he grabbed was a song called Stolen Car, which I had written with Ali Tamposi. I start producing this song, and this one takes me a really long time. There's a lot of layers. We're listening to the song, and it's like, it's so good with Elton by himself, where we're like, okay, maybe this could be the one on the album that's just him by himself. But he's like, no, it's a collaboration album, and I think we should do it with a woman. Again, it would be such a great story, guy and girl together. I call Stevie Nicks and tell her about this song, and she's over the moon about it. She's like, of course I would love to sing. Let me hear the song.
When I first moved to Los Angeles with Lindsay in 1972, I thought I wanted to sing with Elton. I wanted to sing a second part harmony on your song with Elton. And of course that never came true. And I almost really started to let that whole dream go. And then I got a phone call that he wanted me to sing on a song. And I was like, absolutely.
Would people want to hear a song between Stevie and Elton? And, you know, the fan in me says, abso-fucking-lutely.
Our love was like a stolen car, racing down the freeway, drinking for a new day, wasted in an old dark bar.
She has this great, what we sound like on this record is a married couple on their way in a car, like Thelma and Louise, having an argument.
You're in the backseat with Stevie and Elton going down PCH. And you're watching the whole thing come down.
We knew it wouldn't last, but we did all remember that our love was like a stolen car.
If it's a good duet and it's the right song, it's always magical because it's two people dealing with each other instead of just you standing on the microphone singing your song by yourself, you know? You're actually sharing a whole cinematic movie with somebody.
For her to be on it is just, yeah, it's incredible.
Sometimes it creates a relationship with you and people. When you sing a song with them, you're never just casual friends again because you've experienced singing a song together.
Elton starts feeling good about making music here again. So I just said, okay, who is the greatest lyricist that I know? First thing that comes to mind is Eddie Vedder. I called him.
It's Eddie Vedder. Hello.
Again, same way I called Elton to do the Metallica thing, I picked up the phone and called Ed.
He left a little note for me in the studio saying it would be one of my bucket list things if you could ever write a song to one of my lyrics. So I wrote two. I wrote one for him and one for me.
This one called E-Ticket. He sits down at the Mellotron And he says, get me up the shittiest organ sound that you can get me. I want it to sound like a carnival.
The genesis of the song is the ticket book, the A tickets, the B tickets. There are no E tickets left because those were the greatest rides that they had to offer.
He starts playing in this way where it's like rockabilly, like just this bounce that only he has. I said, okay, let's get you on the piano. So he gets on the piano, and in one take, I've literally never seen anything like it in my entire life. You listen to that song, it sounds like it is recorded with a band. That is recorded by Elton by himself. He is just ripping and everything you could ever want. I felt like I was in Tommy. Earlier in that day, he was bouncing around my room and having fun, and he went over to the Wurlitzer and he kind of put down this thing that had more of like a soul feel. So I told Elton in the way, it's always been my dream to have Stevie Wonder play on something, and I think he would absolutely destroy this. He was like, I love it. That would be amazing. Absolutely.
I put the electric piano down. He came and played acoustic piano and then did the harmonica solo on Finish Line. We put the Kanye West choir on, which really made the difference to the song. And then in the end, he put his vocal on. I haven't heard Stevie sound so young since he was about 19.
Won't you give me another chance to make you proud?
His generosity on this was amazing. And it came in droops and drabs. First it was the piano, then it was the harmonica, and then the vocal. It's lovely to be able to work with someone who you love.
The process of making this album has reminded me of the joy of collaboration, that amazing things happen when you bring yourself together with people, often for the first time. Without risk, there isn't reward.
Music is not I. It's collaborative. It takes a village to make something great. And this album is the pinnacle of collaboration.
When I did that track with Charlie Puth on Services, I never dreamt that it would lead to this. I had no idea when I went to Los Angeles I'd be working with all these people. I've come out of this record full of life, full of happiness, full of joy, and that's really what I want people to get out of this record.